everyone, and welcome back to the Alice in Wonderland channel. I'm glad you made it back, and I'm really excited to do this video because I'm reading on true police encounters with the paranormal. Now, let's get out our safety gear and hopefully we don't have to call the cops. The key holder. A buddy and I on my squad responded to an alarm. The incident location was an old office-type building that had been converted to doctor's offices. There was a pharmacy attached to it. Our dispatch received a motion signal from an upstairs office. Key holder arrives on scene and we go in to secure the building. The stairs were locked behind a door that, of course, the key holder didn't have keys to. So we took the elevator up to the second floor. Not the most tactically sound option, I know. Elevator opens to a pitch black hallway, except for one overhead light at the end of the hall. We start checking doors and so far all are secure. We make entry and observe it to be an unused office. The door opened to a sizable waiting room and reception area. There were about 10 or 12 exam rooms, all cleared with no hiccups. We exit the office immediately. Something seems off. That is when I realized the overhead light at the end of the hallway that had been on was now off, replaced by another light over by the elevators. I look at my squad mate and he is completely white. I ask him what is wrong and he asks, weren't all those doors we just checked closed and locked? I tell him yeah, and he says, well, now they're all standing open. Sure enough, all the offices down the hallway we had just checked were now standing open. Pucker factor sinks in at this point. So, we start clearing and securing offices. We finish the last office, and on our way out, just before we turn the corner to get into the waiting area, the main door just slams shut. Then our radios start going nuts with some sort of static feedback. Now, I just want to get the hell out of there. We get back into the elevator and head down to the first floor to make contact with the key holder again. However, key holder is nowhere to be found. I contact dispatch and request a callback number for the key holder so I can advise him of what we found. Dispatch states that the key holder was still en route to us and was advising an ETA of 5 minutes. I advised dispatch that we had already been out with the key holder. Dispatch requests I give them a call. I call dispatch and she tells me that there is no way we were out with a key holder. She states that the alarm company had only just made contact with one. Eventually, the real key holder arrives on scene, and I ask her about the man that had led us in the building, which was the first key holder. She asked me to describe him, so I did. She states that that sounds like one of the doctors that used to lease the office on the second floor at the end of the hall. She then states that he had committed suicide at his summer home several days ago. I still won't go back there. The Haunted Church. I used to work for a private police security firm as a patrol supervisor. On one of my patrol routes, we had a huge church that was also a private daycare and kindergarten. It was my responsibility to clear and secure the building every night between 3 and 4 a.m. due to recent instances of doors being found left open in the morning. In the early 1900s, the building was a schoolhouse and supposedly a fire killed several children trapped inside. I didn't know any of this prior to working for the company. I only lasted about a week on this route prior to requesting that the church be moved to earlier in the shift. Several extremely creepy things happened while assigned to the church. My first night there, I had just walked down the very long main classroom hallway to clear all of the rooms, and when I turned around to walk back up the hallway, there was a red balloon floating in the middle of the hallway. That was definitely not there prior. In the pastor's office, there was a lamp shaped like a lighthouse that sat on a table in the large window. When I would pull up to the church, the lamp would be the first thing I would see in the office window. It was always turned on. However, when I would go to check the lock to the pastor's office from the inside, the lamp would always be off. When I would get back into the car to leave, the light would be back on again. One weekend, the church was having a bake sale and the kitchen was full of plates of baked goods. There had been a note left on the door telling the security employees that we could help ourselves to anything in the kitchen within reason. I cleared the kitchen and noticed a large plate of chocolate chip cookies. I continued past the plate to clear the rest of the kitchen, and when I went back to the plate of cookies, there were only 3 left where there had once been at least a dozen or more. And I also had the unusual phenomena of previously closed and locked doors being found open just seconds after closing and locking them. Another officer that filled in for me one evening quit the very next day because he reported that as he was checking the main chapel, the pipe organ started playing itself. The water tower. It's been a while, but I only have one. Got a call for an alarm at a new water tower they are building. Alarm company also has cameras on the side, so when the alarm activates, so do the cameras. The alarm company advised that there were 2 teenagers observed going under a sign. I was already in the area, so I was on scene quickly. The alarm company stayed online and said they had not passed the camera again. A few more units get there, and we are checking the site for the sign. Well, we find it, but it's not a sign. It's a piece of construction equipment, and when you go under the sign, it only leads to one place, the entrance to the water tower. So, we go inside and immediately hear people talking. We shine our lights towards the next landing and it stops. So, we are giving commands and all that, but no response. We are considering climbing up there, but the ladder is being held on by a carabiner, and we can't figure out their harness system. We call one of the workers out, so it takes him a bit to get there. We're sitting there BSing inside the tower because it's cold and decide to turn our lights off. After a minute, the talking resumes along with what sounds like someone walking or shuffling around. So, we shine a light up and it stops. We do this 3 or 4 times and it's the same thing. Guy finally gets there and goes up the ladder, checks that level, the next level, and then the actual bowl. No one was up there. Hey all, Alice in Wonderland here. I'm glad you all made it to the end of the video and I hope you enjoyed the scary police stories. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and comment in the comments section below. Share the video with your friends and family. Hit the like button, and if you aren't already subscribed, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon. My next video will be on some scary nurse stories.